Good afternoon and welcome. You're listening live to Heart, a program which aims to help you understand and to become a loving soul. I'm Dr. Mitra Rashidian. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified sexologist in full-time private practice in beautiful Encino, California, offering this program to you at KMET 1490 AM, ABC News Radio Live. And for some reason, my voice is echoing, and I don't know why that's happening. I hope that we don't hear the echo, and it's only on my side,
Echo, echo, echo.
right?
Hello.
And I'm here with my business partner, my colleague, and my best friend, my dear friend, Dr. Robert Jaffe. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. I'm here with you. Today we're going to do our second 2 hour show. The first part of it is going to be on human sexuality and relationships. And the second part will be on addiction, codependency, trauma, and also relationships. Relationships are the bread and butter of where we all live. Even if we're not in a committed love relationship, we still go through the world in many relationships. And our relationships are very important to us. And so we're going to talk about how to make relationships more satisfying and how to feel more connected with each other. And we don't have to be in person to do that, although it's still best in person, at least as far as you and I think, right?
Exactly. Yes. So we would like to now not only welcome you, so we have some followers that you have been with us and we appreciate your support. And we have also the new ones, which we welcome you dearly. And we love to have you among us. And our phone number live here is 951-922-3532. And we would like to hear from you. We would like to hear from your ideas, your beliefs, and how your experiences with our program. And then what would you like to hear from us here more? And so we can offer you the program that you desire to listen to.
Absolutely.
Right. And today we're going to be talking about an aspect of human sexuality. And, it's interesting that uh, when we talk about sexuality, sex and romance, definitely, for the most part come together. And even though it is COVID time, still, life goes on. And Valentine's Day is on the corner.
Right around the corner.
Right. And many people, are able to stay with their loved ones, and there are some that they cannot because of the COVID, and it doesn't feel good, when they can't. And there are some a group that they are not in a relationship, and uh, even though there is COVID, there are many ways to celebrate. There are many ways to enjoy Valentine's Day, as we all have, in the prior years. And if you don't have somebody that you can consider your Valentine, or for the other person to consider you Valentine, right? Be your own Valentine.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. And when you're your own Valentine, what does that mean? That means that you love yourself, you value yourself, you treat yourself well, and you think highly of yourself. But that doesn't mean that you feel better than others. We're all in this together, and we all come to the world with gifts and talents, and each of us have something to offer to the other person. And so the whole idea is to stay in our spirit, which is the part of us that loves, the part of us that feels compassion, the part of us that feels appreciation, the part of us that is kind, and the part of us that feels grateful.
Exactly. Yes.
And the opposite of that, of course, is the ego. We all have one. It's not a bad thing, but the ego is in charge of survival and day-to-day occurrences. And the ego works best, we believe, as a servant, not as a master. So we believe that our spirit should be the master and our ego the servant. And when that happens, then we're much happier and we feel much more connected to ourselves, to each other, to the world,
To the universe.
to the universe,
universe.
and dare I say, to God.
Right. And love, the concept of love by itself is a spiritual, factor.
Mhm.
That's how I see it, you know. And for someone to experience love at its, true meaning, it takes some work. For some, it's more work. More work is needed. For some, not much. The more you're connected to your spirituality, perhaps the less effort you need to make here. But then again, love is not only is experienced through our spirituality, it's also experienced, by our physics, by our, everyday life, our experiences. Depends on how we are looking at love. So to experience love, we don't necessarily need to have somebody else in our life, and that's something that is important to know about ourselves. To love, we need to experience self-love. We can't give love to somebody if we don't have self-love. And that's something that I thought is important to introduce about self-love and how we go on and be happy during this Valentine's Day that's coming up. For those who are next to each other, you're lucky and enjoy it, because now you can see that how simple, situation can become so huge. Something that, just showed up out of nowhere has separated the whole world from, each other the way it has. For some of us, they have to stay apart and, but they always still to experience love via virtual connections, and we are thankful for that. And then there are some that they just it's them by themselves, and they too can experience love through self-love.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So happy Valentine's Day, no matter how you're celebrating that, right? And focusing on Valentine's Day, and of course, sex and romance again comes to the play here, right? So let's see that how people, historically have been able to do some things to enhance their libido, to enhance their sex drive, to enjoy actually, having better sex by focusing on the one of the most important aspects of life, which is nutrition.
Nutrition.
Right?
Yes.
Right? You may ask how, I mean, what is this? But, we know that humans have looked for ways to improve their sexual experience for thousands of years, including, trying to discover the best food for sex. Now, Valentine's Day, people primarily focus on chocolate and strawberry. Well, those are absolutely right on, because both of them do have the capability, because of the chemical component and nutritional component that they have, to actually do that. And let's explain about some of the foods in general
to enhance our libido.
Enhance our, libido, and see how across history people have used this nutrition. I mean, there have been days that we didn't have Viagra, right? There was not, lubricants, or there were not all these other, supplements to take to enhance libido. So how did people do that?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You may wonder, because, we know that sexuality has been part of human life right from the beginning, right?
Well, yeah.
Come on, are you questioning that?
Well, from the beginning, in the beginning, there had to be two. because without two, you don't have the third, right?
Exactly. So we had the two, and they didn't follow the rule of God. They were told not to touch the apple
She ate
tree,
the apple.
but she ate the apple, and then Adam also ate the apple. So there we go, and the
It got
story
stuck in his
continues.
throat, and that's why men have Adam's apples.
Maybe, but that was too late.
It's too late.
Right. So here are some of the historic, food that the very first one is very interesting, focuses on male libido, right? And that's oyster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just oyster that actually enhance, libido, but most shellfish, basically, they do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's because, they are loaded with zinc. Oyster is among the highest one that has zinc, as one of the main components of that.
Yes.
And therefore, zinc helps male body to make, testosterone. And then this is a hormone that plays a big role, in men's mood and sex drive. And, in my traveling to Far East countries, right, you find oysters everywhere. I mean, it's just unbelievable, right? I've traveled to some of them, and then like Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, part of Korea, I don't know what else, part of China, and you see that. I mean, there are two things that they are just there, all around you. Like here, you see hot dog stands, for example, in New York, right? But you can see, these cars that they sell, fresh. When you go to the downtown areas of these places, you see that they sell you, oysters. They sell you other shellfish. It's just so fresh. It's right there, right in front of you, right? And we know that the matter of sex for men in Asian country is very strong, right?
Right.
So I was when I the first time I went to these countries, I was probably 18, 19, and it was a surprise for me to see why are they selling all that, just like that. I mean, you go to any a stand in the corner, and then they just feed you with some sort of shellfish. And in particular, in Hong Kong, I saw that, and in Thailand. And then, of course, we know that, the matter of sex is really strong among men in those areas. So zinc, also helps to make, more sperm. And we know that for some couples, that's very important to show more sperm. And we just got our notice that our commercial break is coming up, right?
Happened quickly.
So while we're thinking about zinc and its importance for sex drive, okay, we take a commercial break and we talk to you right after our break here.
We'll see you soon. Stay tuned, please.
KM.com.
Welcome back from our commercial break. This is Heart-to-Heart program at KMET 1490 AM, ABC News Radio. Dr. Mitra and Dr. Robert here offering you a program on human sexuality. And please call us at 951-922-3532 and ask your questions. We like to hear from you. You may also visit us at our YouTube at heart-to-heart.online/YouTube. And today we're talking about, we had an introduction about Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to those that just joined us. And we are talking about, best food to eat before sex. And actually, yes, these foods that we're talking about, in order to provide the kind of a libido that people are looking for, especially men, is best to be not only be eaten before having sex, not immediately, but a while before. But it's best to be included in the diet altogether,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about the importance of zinc that, it's found in oysters and other shellfish. And basically, zinc, helps men make more sperm. It also helps that the sperm move better. And so there are some people that they say, they don't like shellfish. And actually, I have heard that there are some people that they say, oh, shellfish, don't even think about it or talk about it. And there are also some religion that they kind of they say that eating shellfish are not part of their culture in
Mm.
some religions. For example, I know that within Islamic nations, eating shellfish is not a common thing except for shrimp. It's amazing that shrimp is okay, but other shellfish is not, part of their ritual of eating. And then so there are other foods that they carry zinc with them. For those who do not eat shellfish, such as beef, pork, and then pumpkin seeds, cashew, and yogurt. And yogurt is very interesting to look at because we see that within Middle Eastern diet, and Greek diet, and also Russian diet, they eat lots of yogurt, plain yogurt, right?
Interesting.
And we see that, not only in particular men live longer in those regions, but also they're famous for their high sex drive.
Oh. And where's this?
Russia,
Russia.
Middle Eastern countries, and Greek, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not just Asian men who have a high sex drive. Middle Eastern men are very famous for that.
Okay.
Especially those that they follow Mediterranean diet,
Mm-hmm.
and those the group that they consume lots of yogurt. And yogurt in those areas is used maybe at least twice per day. Mm-hmm. So yogurt is like having a glass of water next to you when you eat, for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, as a snack. And then there is variety of forms of preparing yogurt dish. Right. So one of them that's really famous in American diet now recently, they call it tzatziki. But tzatziki is nothing but a mixture of chopped cucumbers and mint and yogurt and salt and pepper, right? Which traditionally has been part of Mediterranean diet for the longest time.
Interesting.
Right. So and then yogurt is in these nations, it's sometimes made homemade instead of buying it. Mm-hmm. So the homemade one is so part of routine, cooking process, that it's there all the time. So you don't miss yogurt on a in the Middle Eastern diet or Russian diet or Greek diet.
And how is yogurt made?
It's actually very simple to do. Mm-hmm. So basically, depending on the type of diet that the individual have, they can have whole milk or low fat milk or non-fat milk. I mean, the best is with whole milk, right? And then so you boil the milk all the way through, right? And then you let it cool down a little bit, and then take some of the yogurt that you like the flavor. Usually you use Greek Bulgarian yogurt, right? And mix that with some of the milk, and then mix the whole cup of yogurt with, let's say, a gallon of milk needs about a cup of yogurt. So you mix it thoroughly and then let it cool down, and that's it.
Wait a minute. You boil the milk.
You boil the milk.
And then
you mix some of that milk. Let's say you boil a gallon of milk.
Right.
Right. You mix some of that with a cup of plain yogurt.
Wait a second. Where do you get the plain yogurt?
Any flavor that you like, you can use.
You mean you have to buy it?
Yeah, buy it.
I'm saying, how do you make it?
Yeah, but you need that initially.
You need someone else to make it first?
You need to have that. I mean, there is a way to make the base for yogurt. I don't know how to do that.
I see.
But I know how from existing yogurt make a much bigger pile of yogurt for myself.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you mix that with some of the milk.
Uh-huh.
and then mix it all together completely,
Yeah.
and then close the lid and put it on a corner and forget about it. And then within a few hours, you have a whole pile of freshly made yogurt.
So you mean like if you take a gallon of milk,
Yeah,
and then you boil it, and then
Yeah.
you add like a cup of yogurt,
yes,
it will come out with like a gallon of yogurt.
gallon of yogurt.
I got you.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Okay.
you want to try it?
One of these years.
The easiest way is to go and buy it for yourself. But the good thing about this way homemade is that there is no added salt, there is no added sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a much healthier version of yogurt, and then you use some of that for your next yogurt making.
I see.
So you continue to make it even better and better and better as you go on. And this is how it is basically used and consumed in, in this group of people's life, right? Every day there is always yogurt on the table.
Okay.
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 So okay.
And is yogurt easily digested?
Easily. I mean, the more natural yogurt is made, it's all probiotic.
Mm-hmm.
So probiotic, we need that for digestion, right?
And probiotic means what?
Probiotics are the good bacteria that we need for digestion in our large intestines. So you have that yogurt basically that sort of is supposed to eliminate constipation and any form of problem with digestion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
so it's basically probiotic and calcium, and zinc and other things that comes with it.
Well, thank you for that education. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you want me to give you my oyster sauce recipe too? So yeah, I mean, I'm into cooking. I like nutrition. I follow nutrition. I study nutrition. I like to experience, different food components, and I come up with my own recipes.
You do.
But I don't have my show yet.
You don't have a show yet. But I'm your main audience and your main customer. You bring in some delicious foods all the time.
I'm glad you like them.
And they're just incredible.
Thank you.
And not only are they delicious, they're also healthy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I like to do that. Yes. Thank you for, liking them and recognizing them. Okay, so our next food, which is also has been introduced to the U.S. population within the past few years, and it's getting, a place for yourself. It's been, very much welcomed because of their nutritional value, and that is pomegranate, right? I remember that when the first time, I introduced pomegranate with a friend of mine, and then she said, well, what am I supposed to do with the seeds? And I said, well, the seed is the fruit. That's what you have to eat. And then so pomegranate it wasn't something familiar in American diet. And with the migration of people from other parts of the world, in particular, Middle East, they brought pomegranate with them. And now we have so many farms, especially around Sacramento, that they are producing, pomegranates, and they are absolutely delicious. And pomegranate, you can find it around fall time, fall through winter time. And, it's one of the number one antioxidant that, it exists by nature. And so throughout the history, this fruit has been known as a symbol of fertility and a sex enhancer.
Okay.
Right. So in those countries that they actually produce, they grow pomegranate, significantly. I mean, that is part of the diet, right? Like yogurt, like you cannot, tell somebody from Middle East, don't eat, pomegranate. I mean, pomegranate is like an apple. That's how, important it is, and that's how much they favor this fruit.
And then you said antioxidant.
Yes.
What does an antioxidant do?
So antioxidant, it's the component of pomegranate, especially the pomegranate juice itself, okay, is helps with the arteries, helps with getting rid of the toxication that's built up in the body. I mean, we inhale the air that has so much toxication, right? Our lifestyle or stress and all of that, they create this build up toxic in our body that can, impact our heart functioning. It can impact our, organ functioning. Some people experience having cancer. So pomegranate and pomegranate juice is significantly helpful to reduce some of the stress that is caused by toxication in the body.
Okay.
Right. So now pomegranate is not a prevention, is not a medicine, but when it is consumed on a regular basis, it helps with cleansing part of the body, which is really, really significant. And of course, it's again used in nations when men are famous to have high sex drive. So they attribute, that to consumption of pomegranate, right? And so experts say that drinking pomegranate juice can boost, your mood, improve your blood flow, and definitely raises, men's testosterone level. And then these are the combination of that actually brings more energy and more libido for when people have sex. And then when female also has pomegranate, basically, when you look at the history of these nations, you will see that pomegranate is part of the painting, sexual painting, kind of romantic setting. You will see that pomegranate is on the part of that, right? And then some of the poets, they describe the lip of the lip color of their lover, to the color of pomegranate, the redness of the pomegranate, the sweetness of a pomegranate when they kiss each other. Say the lips taste like pomegranate sweetness, the color is like that. The rosy cheeks is like pomegranate. So pomegranate has its own special meaning and place in romantic communication, as well as, of course, enhancing libido and testosterone level, right? So it's no surprise that, as part of a ritual of how to, do foreplay in these areas, we will see pomegranate, and in addition to red wine, you also see pomegranate, and then a variation of food that is made by pomegranate.
I see. Very interesting. Okay.
What's your thoughts about it? I mean, you have had pomegranate here. It's new, and then people are getting to know pomegranate. We see lots of pomegranate juice now on the shelves here.
Yeah, the thing I like about pomegranates is how light they are.
Yes.
They're very light, so they don't seem to take up a lot of space in your belly.
No.
And you and the sweetness is a unique taste. It's not sweet in the traditional way of sweetness, right, but it is sweet. And now that you're talking about all these other benefits, I think I'm going to start eating more pomegranates.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. There is pomegranate ice cream, there is pomegranate chocolate, there is pomegranate candy, there is pomegranate everything, But the best one is to actually, juice a pomegranate that is ripe and then drink that juice. That's the best part of it. That's the best one. And also the white seeds that they are left behind, they actually are edible, and they really help with digestion.
Oh,
they are nothing but pure fiber. Even though they seem to be hard and crunchy, but they are pure fiber.
Oh, good to know.
Right. And then if you boil and make a tea out of pomegranate skin, that's where the antioxidant also exists. So you can have pomegranate tea boiling the skin.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I should open up another show here. Talk about nutrition. What do you think? Are you going to join me?
Yeah. definitely.
Okay, all right. So the next one is chocolate. And we know that chocolate historically is known to enhance libido, right? And then, there is no wonder that chocolate and romance go hand in hand. And then this chocolate, basically what it does is releases serotonin. That is a hormone that encourages feelings of happiness and well-being. And then the mood boost that chocolate can bring may raise your sex drive also. And basically we see that chocolate historically has been used across centuries since it was invented back in France, right? Has been used, and it's been significantly uh, um, used during Valentine's Day,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the
Mm-hmm.
best one that we see, the most famous one, is a strawberry dipped in chocolate.
Mm.
Whether that's white chocolate, whether that's brown chocolate, whether that's any color of chocolate, I love them. And for Valentine's Day, I usually make them myself for myself.
Self-love.
Self-love,
Yeah.
self-love. The first thing I do on Valentine's Day morning, here's my strawberry dipped in chocolate, and bon
Oh,
appetit.
indeed.
Yes, yes. So more of the amazing food that enhance libido right after our commercial break.
And please call us. We're here, and we're waiting for your call. 951-922-3532. Any comments about what we're talking about, or anything really that you're interested in learning more about or sharing.
Yes.
Talk to you soon.
We want to hear from you.
Check us out online.
Welcome back from our commercial break. Dr. Mitra and Dr. Robert here. Heart program at KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio. We are talking about what increases sexual libido by using natural food. And we like to hear from you. Please call us at 951-922-3532. So before commercial break, we were talking about another food which is not really good looking. It's green and it's called the spinach.
Spinach.
Spinach. And I mean, we have
Popeye's
seen
favorite.
Popeye, so Popeye was not without any reason for eating all that spinach, because the spinach, is full of, magnesium and minerals that actually increases testosterone, right? We
Mm-hmm.
didn't see Popeye saying to a female to eat, to
Right.
eat, spinach, but the spinach was consumed by men, right?
Right.
Because of that. So even in cartoons, they promote that, and then they leave ladies behind.
Yeah, makes me think. When I watch those cartoons, he would say, "I'm good to the finish because I eat my spinach."
Yes.
And I wonder if he was talking about finishing sexually.
Exactly.
I'm good to the finish because I eat my spinach.
So there you go. That's our evidence of how spinach is powerful in boosting male testosterone, and also it can, in addition, help with desire, arousal, orgasm, and sexual satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
So and then of course some of that applies to women. So thankfully there is something. Right. So I mean, this is interesting, but this is how this is male focused. Everything is about testosterone. Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to argue there.
Women have testosterone as well.
Yeah.
Not
Thankfully, not a lot.
Not a lot. Not a lot. So that's the good news for women.
Yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be happy. Okay. So the next one, to my surprise actually, and I didn't know about this one, is watermelon, right? How would you think that watermelon is a sex enhancer, but it actually is. And again, looking at the diet of Middle East and all of that, my God, the amount of watermelon that they consume is unbelievable. It's just unbelievable how much, where I come from, my own hometown, back in the days, watermelon as soon as it was in the market, it was like sometimes it became just the main dish.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much it was consumed, right? You know,
Well,
just
who doesn't like watermelon,
yeah,
right? I mean,
exactly.
it's so
It's so
delicious.
delicious, and basically, the amino acid that exists in watermelon, it relaxes, blood and blood flow, and we know that men need blood flow into their genital area in order to get a proper erection. So there you go. You have a watermelon works like Viagra for you.
I mean, if I eat a lot of watermelon soon, my penis will start looking like a
I,
watermelon.
I will, I hope not. You don't
Me
want
too.
you don't want it to look like a watermelon, but I definitely, according to science, it acts like Viagra. So there we go. So this is how historically, men didn't need Viagra. They relied on natural food and then relied on watermelon juice and watermelon salad and variety of watermelon dishes that was made. And what I know is that actually watermelon skin is very an important part of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when they juice watermelon, they also juice it with the skin in it.
Mm.
Right, and and actually that's has kind of sour sweet taste to it, which is really delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So and then the next one is avocado. Avocado has lots of fiber and a healthy fat that brings energy to sexual relationship. Right. And then avocado also has vitamin B6, which is one of the key factor in reducing fatigue, bloating, and crankiness. And also we know that avocado actually puts women in a romantic mood.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. I see. So, what guys can do then, when they're at bars, instead of slipping the woman the roofie, they can slip her some avocado.
You can do that, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. We're learning something valuable here, right? Right. So no need to talk about the strawberry, of course, and how it is topped with variety of interesting things, such as whipped cream, such as different colors of and chocolate and other everything that you can dip a strawberry in peanut butter or whatever you like. Basically it is high in vitamin C, and it also definitely kind of ups sex drives and boost blood flow, reduces stress and anxiety. We see that it is used in champagne. They say it enhances the champagne taste, but it actually it boosts sex drive.
So you mean, why didn't people put avocado in champagne?
Yes.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh my goodness, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So champagne and strawberry go together very well.
Well, champagne and strawberries.
Yeah, so they sometimes they just make it like a cocktail. They just cut the strawberries in.
But not avocado.
No, I'm talking about the strawberry.
We went into strawberries. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I missed the switch over.
No, I don't want avocado with champagne.
No. That's what I was asking, because I thought we were still on avocado.
No, sorry.
Okay, we went to strawberry.
We went to a strawberry. Yes, you're right. And then so the other one is caffeine. So caffeine helps men to perform better when they are having sex.
Well, caffeine dilates the blood vessels.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
But too much caffeine is not so good.
No, we don't want too much caffeine. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not.
Right.
So that's for caffeine. And for tea, it also coffee, is also an antioxidant, right? So it improves health, and then the energy that brings to the person helps them to last longer, helps them to enjoy more from their sexual experiences.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is maca. Maca is a plant. It has a very ugly looking, actually. Maca is like a very kind of wrinkled, smaller version of parsnip. Or what's parsnip is, looks like a very kind of whitish carrot, right, which has a very longer tail than carrot has. right? So it's a root vegetable,
Uh-huh.
right? And maca is primarily grows, to the best of my knowledge, in South American countries, if I'm not mistaken. But the impact of that is like, um, help me if I'm saying the name wrong. It is ginseng,
With like
yeah,
ginseng.
ginseng. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is primarily used in Korea,
Mm-hmm.
and but that's a male enhancer definitely in
Mhm.
Korea, right? And in
Mhm.
Asian countries, and then they sell it everywhere. Everywhere
Mm.
you go, there are packs of of that, or there are variation of food that's made with that,
Mhm.
and men eat it like there is no tomorrow,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
So maca has similar impact, and then so the way it is used, they make a powder similar to ginseng, right?
Ginseng.
Ginseng, right? Thank you. And then the powder is used the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's South American,
Mm.
ginseng. If we can compare that, and then the way to use it is either like a shake or add it to yogurt, a smoothie, salad, soup, and just bake it. Just like you bake carrot. On its own, it doesn't really taste good. But then again, some people like it and they eat it, and it's a very healthy vegetable altogether, root vegetable.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and so that's that. And then the other one is fatty fish like salmon, sardine, mackerel. They have lots of and lots of omega-3s, and then it also, therefore, this type of fat kind of reduces, inflammation in body, which actually that reduction of inflammation increases sex drive,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So and then those who don't like to eat, seafood, again, they can get their omega-3s from, flaxseed, chia seed, and walnuts, or any other nuts that has, omega-3,
Mm.
fat in it. And so, and then what not to do is alcohol. You don't want to consume alcohol before having sex.
And
And we know that happens.
Well, it happens a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the reason for that is that it actually dulls the senses.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. And it impacts, first of all, alcohol consumption lowers testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It, impacts nervous system, right? It impacts, circulation, of blood, right? It make it difficult for the person to become aroused and to stay aroused, right? And then it also can make the person feel dehydrated, and then because of that they can feel fatigue, headache, and then for women they can feel vaginal dryness.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So a consumption of alcohol before having sex can have actually negative impact rather than a positive enhancer. It's not an enhancer, but it actually works the opposite.
Yeah, I'm a believer in things in moderation.
Right. So glass of wine, it's okay.
Yeah.
But heavy liquor or getting drunk before sex is not. That's the part we are referring to, right? But a glass of wine, a glass of champagne, obviously, and it's Valentine's Day, so people are going to go for both wine and for champagne, right? So a glass or two, it's okay, but to get drunk, that's the part we're trying to be mindful of it.
Yes.
Right. And then also, saturated fat. So saturated, like heavy food, such as, consumption of fatty, beef or fried food. These basically, makes the person feel bloated, makes them feel tired, and the blood circulation kind of reduces, and therefore, sex organs are not going to be able to reach their ultimate level of function, because they need blood flow there. So it impacts there, and then this is something that may not happen with one time of overeating and heavy saturated fat, but over time definitely does impact a person's sex drive.
Right.
right?
Right.
So, and then heavy carbohydrates, these are things that we want to avoid. If people want to have a healthy sex drive and be able to have sex and enjoy it and experience it actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to really focus on our nutritional value and what we eat.
And also, I want to comment, and I think what you're saying is so true and very important, but also about portion control.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, when they go out to dinner and they have a plan afterwards of making love, they overeat.
Oh yeah.
And then the body is busy digesting, and they begin to lose the interest in
Yes.
sex.
Yes.
Because the body is too busy with the digestive process, and so it's not conducive to making love.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If you that's so important. If you look at the historical paintings or poems or writings, they talk about having bites of food together.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for example, how do you think sushi was invented?
Mm.
Sushi basically it's a bite-sized food that they feed each other. The two people, the couple feeds each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then so it's something that's already prepared. It's there, right? It's light. It's fish,
Right.
and it has seaweed. So there you go. That it has all the elements, the fatty omega fatty three. I mean, yeah, did I say that right? I hope so. And then the seaweed, and then the rice. So it has all the components in it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are all enhancers for sex drive.
Seaweed is good, right?
Seaweed is very good. It's part of the sea. Yeah, anything that comes from sea and from shellfish and all of that is healthy.
Very good.
Yeah. So small bites, and then you drink sake with that, right?
Uh-huh.
So you see that those little bites, those pomegranate pieces, things, the small pieces. See, none of these food that we introduced were heavy.
Right.
And they're all a small bite. Like oyster is just one oyster,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The only thing you can really gorge yourself on of everything you talked about is watermelon.
Watermelon. So we want to be
mostly
careful.
it's water, right?
Well, mostly it's water. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we thank you for joining us and listening to our program. We appreciate that. And now we are welcoming you back to our second part of program with Dr. Jaffe and myself about trauma, addictions, codependency, and relationship. And look forward for you to join us.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Serving the Inland Empire and desert communities, this is KMET, Manning, Beaumont, Redlands, and Palm Springs, 1490 AM.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger.